My name is Stef Wild and welcome to my channel. I'm a fitness trainer from Melbourne and I'm here to teach you how to do the splits today. Well, you might not get down in them today, sorry, but I'm going to teach you how to get there gradually with practice over time doing these stretches. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Now, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but you need to warm up first. You cannot safely do the splits if your muscles are cold. So go walk around the block or take my 5-minute daily workout routine or do your own warm up. It could be squats, lunges, planks, whatever you like. Just make sure your body is warm. Yeah, you've raised your body temperature, there's blood pumping around your body, then your muscles will be much better primed to safely complete these stretches to hopefully get you into the splits. I would love if you have 2 yoga blocks today. If you don't have yoga blocks, no stress, but they will be super helpful for helping you do these stretches. To begin, we're gonna bring the yoga blocks down. And we're gonna start by stretching some of the main muscle groups that are involved in doing the splits. Now, you could argue that there's 2 kinds of splits. There's the front splits, and then there's also side splits. Woo! And today I'm gonna try teach you how to get down into both. But we'll start with the front splits. So what we need to do first is stretch our hip flexors. So come up onto your knees, step 1 foot forwards, and I want you to squeeze your glutes so that you come into a hip flexor stretch here. Now, to begin with, keep your hip above your knee and just think of taking the arch out of your lower back. So you're drawing your hips forwards, and I want you to squeeze your butt, and then imagine like you're trying to glide your front heel back and your back knee forward, almost like you're trying to create a crease in your mat if you're on one. From here, lift the opposite arm up to the leg that's forward and lean towards the front leg. So we're getting into our psoas and the muscles of our hip flexors here. Now, it's really important that you keep breathing as you stretch. As I've mentioned in other videos, breathing deeply allows your brain to tell your muscles that it's okay for them to release and relax. Try not to hold your breath. Good. From here, we're going to take our front foot a little bit further away now, and I want you to just start to hinge your hips forwards, knee in line with your ankle, and then start to hinge your hips back and coming into more of a hamstring stretch. Now, this is where the blocks may come in handy. You can take 1 block either side of your front leg. As you hinge your bottom backwards and your body forwards, you can have your hands on the blocks, or you can just keep your hands on the floor. Breathing deeply. Now let's flow from this lunge forwards position. Squeeze the glutes, maybe even lift your arms up. And then exhale, hinging your hips back, hands to the floor or the blocks, and dropping your head down. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, hinging back. Inhale, forwards. We want to try to keep our hips square to the front of the mat here. And what that means is they're not rotating outwards, but you're keeping the hips facing forwards. Maybe you can start to get a little deeper each time. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Let's move into the other side. Now, same thing. Other leg steps forward. Squeeze through your glutes, finding length through the front of your hip. Once again, imagine like you're trying to glide your front heel back and your back knee forwards and squeeze, and then take that opposite arm up and over towards the direction of your front leg. Deep breaths in and out through your nose. Try to relax your face. And then taking your hands down either side of your front foot, start to wiggle that front foot a little bit further forward. Can you start to hinge your hips forward here now? Blocks underneath your hands, always a good move. From here, start to hinge your hips backwards and start to straighten through your front leg. And you can keep your front knee bent. If you can't straighten it, please do keep it bent. Start to hinge your body forwards and don't feel like you need to go into the full range straight away. We're just warming up. Inhale forwards, maybe you can lift your arms up high. Exhale, hinge your hips back. Maybe get a little deeper. Inhale forwards and up, squeeze through your glutes to help you. Exhale, hinging back. One more time, let's go. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Last one, here we go, forwards and back. Coming down onto all fours now, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Let's find downward dog. We're gonna tuck our toes under, push firmly through your arms, hover your knees off the mat, and then start to lift your hips up and back. Now, you can keep your knees a little bent here. I want you to think of pointing your butt up towards the sky. We're lengthening through our hamstrings. If it feels okay for you, start to straighten your legs and start to push your heels down towards the mat. Now, if this is all too much, you can use your blocks again. Placing them on their lowest height, hands go on top of your blocks, and then come into your downward dog with your hands on the blocks. If you find that you're slipping on your mat, what you can do is find a wall. You push the block against the wall, and that way you won't slide away. So lifting your hands up on the blocks is going to create more space for your hamstrings to be able to lengthen, but otherwise hands on the floor. Shift your right foot more centered underneath you. Lift your left leg straight up in the air behind you. We're going to keep the leg in parallel to begin with. So your hip points are even, meaning don't turn the back leg out just yet. Want to keep it even. Keep driving your back heel up towards the sky. Keep pushing firmly through your arms. Take some deep breaths. Bring your leg down. We'll swap to the other side. Left foot more centered underneath you. Right leg lifts up high. Hold. Don't turn the back leg out. It doesn't matter if your leg doesn't go very high. It's more about finding strength here. Breathing deeply. Good. Bring your right leg down. Left leg again. This time we will turn the left leg out. So you're going to turn your toes out, squeeze your glutes and start to lift your leg up even higher. Hold. Really squeeze your glutes here. You start to bend your knee, finding scorpion. So you're squeezing your heel in towards your bottom. And now try not to let your shoulders twist here. Can you keep your shoulders in line with each other? Hold and breathe. Good. From here, we're going to bring our knee into our chest. And can you step your left foot forwards now in between your hands? All right, hands come down either side of your front foot. This is where the blocks may come in handy again. So you can place the blocks, maybe up on their second highest height now, underneath your hands. Lengthen your spine and make sure that your left hip isn't sticking out to the side. Can you bring it in? From here, we're going from this low lunge position into a pyramid shape. I want you to keep both toes pointing towards the front edge of the mat. Start to stick your butt back and flex your front toes up towards your face. Maybe you can sink a little deeper. Head goes down towards your shin. Inhale, float your body forwards, long spine. Exhale, press back. 2 more times. Inhale, forwards, lengthen. Exhale, back. Last one, inhale, forward. And exhale, back. Good, bend your front knee. Now, we're gonna come into what's called Skandasana in yoga. So, we're gonna start to turn towards the side edge of the mat. You can walk your hands or your blocks around with you. You're gonna pivot onto the back heel. And you're going to turn to face the side of your mat. You're keeping your front knee bent and keep squeezing through your front glutes. Keep your knee tracking out in line with your toes and see if you can get that other foot to come up. Hold. Breathe. From here, rotate back. Hands come either side of your front foot. Either keeping the blocks on their lowest level or take your hands to the floor. We're going to step back into downward dog. Amazing. Hold your downward dog here. Remember, tilt your tailbone up towards the sky. And let's move into the other side. Left foot comes more centered underneath you. Right leg lifts up high, three-legged dog. From here, open your hip. Bend your knee into scorpion pose. Squeeze your heel in towards your bottom. Keep pushing firmly through your arms. Play around with straightening your leg. Keep squeezing through your glutes. Try to send your leg up towards the sky. Remember, shoulders are square. And then bending your knee, heel to butt. From here, fold your knee in. Bring your knee up into your chest, and can you step your right foot forward in between your hands? Either taking your blocks again underneath your hands, or no blocks. Lengthen through your spine. Keep your right hip in, and then hinge your hips backwards. Toes point up towards the sky. Start to fold your body forwards. Inhale, floating forwards, long spine. Exhale, press it back. See if you can get your back heel down towards the floor. 2 more times. Inhale, float forward. Make sure you breathe. Remember what I said before about holding your breath. It's no good. Exhale, hinge back. Last one, forward and back. Come forwards. Start to walk your hands around, finding Skandasana. So keep the knee tracking out in line with your toes. The other foot, the toes go up towards the sky. Now can sink all the way down here. You might not be able to. So keep your hips up in the air if that's you, and try to center your body. See if you can keep squeezing through your right glutes to keep your knee tracking out in line with your toes. Start to pivot forwards again. Either hands on the blocks or no blocks. Step back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful work. Come all the way down onto all fours. Give me a few rounds of cow and cat stretch for your spine. Inhale one way. Exhale back the other. Sit down for a few moments. Recenter yourself. All right, now we need to find ourselves a wall with no pictures or things that can fall on you on it. I do not have the best wall, but I'm going to show you anyway. Make sure you find a good wall. All right, so you find your wall. You wiggle your butt really close to your wall, and then you lay down on your back and send your legs up the wall. From here, so you want your bottom right against the wall. From here, you're gonna let gravity do its work. You start to let your legs drop out to the sides along the wall, and you just hold. Wherever your legs fall, you hold and breathe. I learned to do the splits when I was a young girl, and I used to practice this one all the time. So I used to read a book with my legs like this, and eventually gravity just does its work, and your legs will start to come a little bit lower and a little bit lower the more you relax into it. And obviously this is going to be stretching through your inner thighs, your adductors, to hopefully get you closer to those middle splits. Now, push your lower back into the floor. Make sure that you haven't got a big arch in your back, yeah? Start to push your lower back into the floor here. So if that means you need to bring your legs up a little bit higher, please do so. And just hold and breathe, and you can stay here for as long as you like. At least 30 seconds, I would say. When you're ready, slowly bring those legs back up and come on down. So for our grand finale today, we're going to attempt to do the splits. If you can't do the splits, if you've never done them before in your life, I don't expect that you're going to be able to do them right away, and neither should you. It's really important that you get to this gradually. It's a lot of practice, day by day. What I recommend is if you watch television in the evenings, you get down on the lounge room floor and you hold the splits every night while watching telly for 30 seconds in each position. At least 30 seconds in each position. I used to do it in commercial breaks. There's no commercial breaks when I watch Netflix anymore, and I don't need to practice anymore. So you're just gonna have to do it during your show if there's no commercial breaks. Got it? Okay. commercial breaks are really handy for doing stuff. And now it's really hard to get stuff done. Anyway, if you have blocks, I recommend that you grab those. We're gonna step 1 foot forwards again, just like we did earlier. Now, hands on the blocks, and then all you do is very slowly start to inch your front leg forward and your back leg back. What I do want you to avoid is letting your back leg turn out like this, and then your hips going all weird forwards like this. It's just not right, okay? So what we wanna do is try to keep your front toes pointing up towards the sky and the top of your back foot on the floor. Now, if you can't, or if you're struggling, you can always tuck the back toes under. This is a really good way to practice, okay? And then if you're not down in the splits, you just hold yourself up on those blocks wherever you can. Blocks are really helpful, otherwise you'll be using your hands, which is fine as well. And then slowly over time, you want to start to come all the way down. Maybe you can play around with pointing your front toes. If you're more advanced, start to take your arms up high and try to square off your shoulders towards the front of your mat or towards your leg. Try not to open up like this. We want to stay as square as possible. Beautiful. You want to hold wherever you're at for about 30 seconds. Let's try the other side. Okay. We've all got a better side. This side is less good than my other side, but you know, that's okay. Hinging forwards. I've come to terms with it. You just have to come to terms with your better side and your worse side. Start to lengthen out. Once you find where you're at, maybe you can take your hands away. Maybe you can play around with pointing your feet or flexing your feet, lifting up, squaring off the shoulders, holding. Use the arms, of course, if you need to, and breathe. All right, 30 seconds. When you've done that, let's prepare to try these middle splits. I recommend that first of all, you start to sit with your legs out nice and wide here. So flex your toes so that they point up towards the sky, or you can point your feet. Sitting up tall, take your arms out wide. Let's start with a nice big side bend stretch, up and over. Try to keep your opposite hip pushing down towards the floor, so try not to let it lift off. Keep it pressing down, and then lift up and over to the other side. Breaths, keep pressing that opposite hip down. Awesome. From here, start to crawl your hands forward along the floor. First goal will be to get your elbows to the floor. Next goal will be to get your chest to the floor, but wherever you're at, you need to hold. Try not to let your toes roll inwards. Can you keep the toes pointing up towards the sky? All right, most people are gonna find themselves here in this position. That's totally normal, okay? If that's you, you need to go back to the wall, lay on your back, legs open, and let gravity do its work for a couple of years. Otherwise, laying all the way forwards, maybe you can start to inch yourself through. Yep. And if you can do that, that's when you know you're ready for the grand finale. Standing up, feet out wide. Start to hinge forward. If you need to bend your knees, please do so. Hands to the floor, and then you can just start to slide your legs out. Now, if you're doing this one, you may like to try keep your feet flat. I've seen people do this a lot in martial arts, keeping the feet flat. Otherwise, if you're more about dance, you can start to turn your toes up towards the sky. You'll see I'm not completely flat. You may think I am, but I'm not, and I probably never will be, because there is a lot of natural flexibility and genetic ability or genetic blessedness that is also involved, particularly in this position, being able to turn the hips out in this way. So work with what you've got. Please take it easy. Splits are something that gymnasts and dancers do from a really young age, and they practice heaps and heaps and heaps to be able to do. That being said, if you go slowly and safely, always warm up and work slowly towards these things, these stretches will be able to help you. I hope you found this video useful. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you get more content from me very soon. My name is Stef Wild. Thank you for watching. Bye.